Hello everyone, my name is Morgan Zelkovic, and I am going to be evaluating the case study on Becker Birnbaum International. The case study, Trust the Algorithm or Your Gut, by Jeffrey T. Pulzer, is what I will be using to discuss Becker Birnbaum International's hiring process between two internal candidates, Molly Ashworth and Ed Yu. They will be replacing Ann Bank as the marketing director. BBI is starting to attempt to use algorithms to find talented candidates for their positions. And as the title suggests, Aaliyah Jones, VP of Sales and Marketing, she's going to be deciding upon the next candidate using either an algorithm or her gut. I'll review each of the candidates and their qualifications. I will then discuss the steps that BBI should take in order to deploy the algorithm throughout the company. So the first candidate is Ed Yu. I will go over a little bit about his background in his interview. So Ed Yu is part of BBI's beauty division as a brand manager in the beauty group. He revived the 20-year-old Fresh Face makeup remover product line and increasing sales by 60% in 3 years. Ed was also a 96% match for the job by HR's new people analytics system. And even though Ed showed up late for his interview, he felt his skills were better suited for the position and would allow him to work across programs and direct a larger portfolio. The second candidate is Molly Ashworth, and a little bit about her background and interview. She is a brand manager on Aaliyah's team in the cleaning division, where she led a new subscription service for BBI cleaning products. This showed strong growth in the past 2 quarters. But Molly's percentage on the match for the job was a little bit lower. It was at 83%. And Aaliyah and Molly, they have much more of a personal connection. Her interview was pretty much like a get-together, and they sat at a cafe, and they definitely have more of a, like I said, a personal connection. And Aaliyah's thoughts were probably more biased since they already work on the same team, and Molly and Aaliyah know what each other are capable of. All right, so the algorithm. The analytics team performed network analysis on Molly and Ed's email and meeting history at BBI of who they were in contact with in the firm over the past 6 months. And it was clear from the diagrams and the results that Ed, he was connected to other groups outside of his beauty division. So a quote I have added is, network analysis can reveal patterns that are otherwise hard to see. For example, by identifying which employees are most central to informal information flows. So Aaliyah, like I said, her and Molly have much more of a personal connection. They work on the same team. Aaliyah probably doesn't know too much of what Ed does, or that he's already making these connections throughout the other divisions, not just on his team. So the analytics team is pretty confident that decisions being made by the algorithms, they seem pretty reasonable and less biased by personal feelings, in which, as I stated, Aaliyah has a more personal connection with Molly. And even though the algorithm is brand new, it does help to make more informed decisions. The analytics team also performed an analysis to show who is at a higher risk for leaving BBI, and Ed was near the top of the list. So a couple outside sources that I used, according to Ifeoma Ajunwa, algorithms are parsed with a lot of possible bias from faulty algorithms, as well as biased developers. With this in mind, it is important to make sure to develop algorithms with everyone in mind and not to discriminate. According to Dr. Merrill, former CIO of Google, they take out bias by developing diverse teams made up of women, disabled, and military. Moreover, they perform sample studies to understand how the results of the algorithm turn out. So more importantly, who should be hired? I feel that Ed Yu should be hired, and Aaliyah asked a very important question in the interview that her boss wanted her to work more closely with her peers in other divisions, and that question was to Ed, what have you learned in the beauty that would apply in cleaning? And Ed then explained how his division's approach to in-field customer research, which he boosted Fresh Face sales could work in cleaning. And again, with Ed already expanding outside of his networks and allowing for potential growth and connections to be made in the future, that is definitely a big positive. Ed was also prepared for his interview as he did research and was asking about the new subscription program and referencing recent articles that he had found. So the steps that BBI should use is they should first examine and test their algorithms by reviewing and studying decisions that HR would make versus what the algorithm would choose. They could also attempt to run the algorithms on current employees and see if they are a good fit for the job. And they could compare how the algorithm places them versus how well they perform for the company. Next, they should probably follow up on those choices, which would review the productivity of algorithm, hired individuals, and also analyze how well they fit into the culture of the firm. Then they should reevaluate the algorithms based on these successes and failures and identify and make any adjustments necessary to the algorithm and continue to then examine, follow up, and reevaluate. And then lastly, they could also outsource this process to a trusted SaaS provider such as Grow. Which leads me to my next slide. Grow is an iOS and Android app, and it consists of a competency assessment and personality assessment for evaluating job candidates. This is done by a 4-level rubric indicating whether the candidate ranges from rarely, the number 1, to nearly always the number 4. And this is whether they exhibit the traits of each query. Grow cuts down on having to go through a large amount of resumes, and also they have a large client group of 74,000 users, such as Mitsubishi Corporation and ANA. As their network continues to grow and gain more clients, they will definitely continue to become more robust, and just like at BBI, their algorithms are starting to help make these decisions. So in conclusion, algorithms, I feel, help narrow down the process and will continue to be a large part of the hiring process to allow the company to take advantage of large amounts of data with the advances in technology and the way individuals are now applying to jobs. Thank you, and these are my references, and thank you for listening.